Captain Flat Tire needs to check his tires every time he rides. Everything's looking alright there. Looking alright there. You can see the scrape in the pavement from when I did it yesterday. Huh. Alright, hi folks, my Kaylee 7 here. Heading home after a really, really long day. Goodness. Alright. Golly, there's cobwebs all over me. Alright. Alright, here we go. Ugh. So it's 6:54 p.m. 73 degrees. Quite breezy this afternoon. And let's see if this light notices me. I think it should. I don't think it should be a problem. We will see. Alright, this person's gonna go. Or not. Come on. Ooh, you know what I'm noticing right now is my heated seat. It's feeling pretty toasty, and I like that. Okay. So, today's topic is motorcycle stuff, practice, and ability. So here we go. Recently I'm getting a lot of little messages from Moose. He's back on the bike, thankfully, after a long winter, and he's practicing again. He's doing his U-turns, making sure he's doing all right, and all that loveliness. And it made me think, you know, like today, maybe I should, you know, go over to that lot and do a couple of things. But then it occurred to me, you know, if I'm going to do that kind of thing, you know, you got to warm the tires up first, right? That's one of the things you really need to do. I learned that lesson the hard way. That's how I broke my right leg, is I didn't warm the tires up first before attempting a serious lean over in a dark parking lot that was covered in sand and gravel on top of the pavement. And I ended up going down, stayed on the bike, and the bike spun, and I broke my leg. Twist fracture of my right tibia and fibula. I still suffer from pain and inability in that leg to this very day. And I still have the titanium rod in there, although I did have the screws taken out about a year later after I'd had that. So this is now 11 years, 12 years. It'll be 12 years this year. Plus I have my other leg broken, not from motorcycle. But anyway, so you really have to consider the safety that you're in. So how do you do that? Well, you make sure your tires are warmed up nice so that you can make the kinds of corners and turns that you need to make on the practice lot, on the range. And you should probably be wearing the kind of gear that you would need if you go down, because you're practicing technical things, and so there's a really bigger chance that you're going to go down if you're practicing the U-turns and the sweeps and all that stuff and the range, which is totally what you would probably want to expect, right? I mean, if you're going to be trying hard stuff, if you make a mistake, you go down. That's what happens. If you watch the cops training to be cop motorcycle riders, they go down plenty as they're training. So, I mean, what you see is their end result. You ever see those videos on YouTube where they're going through the cones a million miles an hour, and like 8 feet, there's like a thimble full of water, and they're riding around on the inside of the thimble, going around like, look at me, I'm not hitting any cones inside this multi-millimeter thimble. So you can't really go by the end result. You have to look at, you know, the day-to-day when they're dropping the bikes every 10 seconds. because that kind of thing happens when you practice. Practice makes perfect. If you were perfect already, you wouldn't practice. So while you're practicing, that's where you screw up. So you have to have the gear on. Well, I don't have the gear on. I have on regular pants with no motorcycle protection. I've got on my Doc Marten boots. That's not really going to help me very much. And of course, I do have my climb jacket and my Arai helmet on, because that's pretty much easy to do. So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to risk it. It's a cool day today, and the tires are, was sitting there for what, 10 hours. So screw it. I'm just going to go home. Now, that made me think of this other thing about riding and ability. You feel this sense of pride. Like, if I could make a U-turn within these 2 lanes right now on this bike, oh man, would I be a hero or what? To go from the inside of this white line, make a complete U-turn and never touch that white line, that's tough. Not to mention, in this environment right here, I mean, there's cars coming down the road. You're nervous. You're looking at the cars. You're looking for the cars. And there's a ditch on both sides. And if you go into the grass, you could go down. So that kind of thing is kind of scary, right? So that's one of the reasons people practice, is because they want to make sure that they can do this kind of thing. But here's my point. If you're getting older, let's say you're 75, for example, 75. Number one, are you going to be practicing very vigorously in a range to do that kind of thing? And then number two, if you're 75 or around, you're frail, you don't want to break a hip, that you're on a blood thinner, that kind of stuff. Do you really want to try to make a U-turn, a no foot down, constant motion U-turn in this span of like 20 feet? Are you going to do that? I don't think that that's something that you should consider the standard. The standard is safety. So what's the safest thing? Well, if you need to make a U-turn, you find a place like here, right? You could kind of go in, come around, come back out again. Obviously, you want to do it in a safe place, in a safe way, for the riding conditions and for your abilities. They always say never outride your abilities. Well, one of those things is the U-turn thing, the slow maneuvering thing. So if you need to do a 3-point turn on your motorcycle, do a 3-point turn with your feet down. It's better to do that than try to attempt something that you're not really that good at and then causing a problem for yourself because you're afraid of hurting your pride by not being able to do a inside 20-foot U-turn with your feet up and looking just like the experts do, right? And if you're going to be doing a 3-point U-turn on your motorcycle with your feet down, please don't do it on a road that has cars coming. Try to find a better place to do it than that. And there are plenty of options. The roads are long. You just keep going until you find a place. It might take you another 10, maybe 15 minutes out of your way if you're on a long back road somewhere. But it certainly beats having an accident. So I guess that's one of my main points today is if you're doing something that you're not used to doing, something that you really haven't practiced a gazillion times, that you could do by rote. You could almost do it with your eyes closed. And if it involves your safety, and you're going to attempt to do something that you're not really that good at in a real situation, like inside the 2-lane U-turn with cars coming, if you're going to attempt that and you're not really that good at it and super duper duper practiced at it, don't do it. Don't do it. Put your feet down. Find another place to turn around. There's no shame in it. There's no shame in, and if you're trying to do something technical and you happen to, the bike tips over and you're practicing or something, okay, there's no shame in that either, especially if you're practicing and you happen to go down while you're practicing. You drop the bike. That kind of thing happens when you're practicing. There's no shame in that either. The shame, where is this word shame? What does this word shame mean? It means this. The shame is, oh my God, it's a damn shame that you attempted something that you shouldn't have attempted, and now you've got a broken leg. That's a shame. It's not the same kind of shame. The hurt to your pride. Oh, I was doing a U-turn, and I screwed up, and I didn't look right, and I didn't put enough pressure, blah blah blah, and I went down like I did right here one day. I was trying to make a U-turn right here. I was going this way and over there and going over there, and I didn't do enough pressure, whatever. I focused on the mailbox. I jammed on the brake on this bike, and lost momentum, and I fell over. I immediately jumped up and lifted the bike up the way you're supposed to in the motorcycle safety foundation. No problem whatsoever. Was I ashamed? No, I wasn't ashamed, because I was trying to do something very technical, kind of like I'm doing right now. So you turn your whole body and you look, and I didn't turn enough, and I went a little bit too far on here. But you know what? I didn't go down, and it's the end of the day. I worked a 10-hour day. Started at 7. No, it's 12 hours now. Started at 7, and I'm just getting home now. And so, yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. That's the message today. All right, it's Mike Cayley 7. I'll talk to you later.